Popcorn yellow striped smile. Face red heart shape. Penguin blue waving tear. How's my Sakurai Dragon Maid doing today? Doing great. Hoping you are as well. Face red heart shape. Hello less than 3. I'm doing good as well, just playing some DVD and chilling. Face red heart shape. Just in time for Ari stream move. % Hercules waving, % Hercules waving, % Hercules waving.
We've assembled the Avenger Potatoes. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Sorry about being gone for so long. I keep planning streams but then cancelling them in the last moment. But we're back. We'll be doing plenty of streams since we have a long weekend. I've also been thinking, I haven't done the one-on-one meeting in a while. Maybe I should do that again? I'm not so sure. What do you guys think? Is my controller connected? It is connected. Oh, is it not working?
Hello Ari, good to see you. Ready for a very weird game? Whoa,
Hello,
British
Legendary.
voice, cool face emoji.
What's it? British voice. My voice is not British. Am I British today? Is that what's happening? So is this one of those games where I have to connect the controller early? Otherwise it doesn't work.
Is your nose okay?
My nose is okay, yes. It's not
That's
3
all good,
a.m.
Ari. I can't wait to see the weird stuff happens.
There you go. This is the current time. I thought the game had... Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I thought it had full controller support. It's showing the controller, but the controller isn't controlling.
I played Stanley Parable, seriously a great game.
I heard a lot of good things about it. Did not hear a single bad thing about it or the remake. I don't know why. It's not really doing any controlling. Okay, maybe it is one of those games where it's not really gonna do anything until you restart it with the controller can actually connect.
Happy 4th of July, Ari.
Happy 4th of July for you as well. Even though you should not be happy about the US
Happy 4th,
celebration.
Ari.
I should have conquered them. That way they will have to get.
Why are you not happy?
I am happy. I am in the US. I'm enjoying the fireworks. But Jumba is in France, right? Let's leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. Yes, I did. They're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate it. That's how I know that you care about this experience. They're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time
Right.
you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make your deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the game now. Okay, thank you. Let me play. Even though I don't know why my controller is not controlling.
Don't you worry about the consequences in this game. Everything is funny. Smiley face emoji.
Yes. Wait, I thought I pressed a few buttons with the controller, and it was doing something. Now it's not doing anything. Why is that? I don't understand. Maybe... Wait, did it do something? No, that's just me touching the keyboard. Maybe... have to enable Steam API? How about now? No? Oh, that's a problem. You can't always have nice things. Hopefully, it will actually work.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Of course he's gonna be happy. He's pressing one button at a time with his
something
keyboard
very
with his index
peculiar happened.
finger.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, we can control it. The reason is it's the 4th of July. Everyone went home, except Stanley. He came to work for some reason. No one knows why. Like, how come Sometimes the controller just stops being respond and it just freezes. Oh. Ouching. Am I go under my desk? No. It's too loud. Yeah, like this, it just freezes. I don't know what's happening. It stops being responding sometimes, especially when I touch something.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hate Mondays. Who doesn't?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? It's an open space. It must be some important fight. Number one down. What does it say? I like work. I just hate my boss. I don't know what this one's saying, Mile. Also, the cups look disgusting. But they are blackened inside. They didn't turn off their PC. There's no company policy about logging out when you're not near your PC. It's a 420 room. They're blazing it inside. They can't blaze it. So many I hate Mondays, cups get stuck again. I don't know why it does that. Wait, they just get stuck. I remember that chart. Didn't we see that in the Office After Hours game? Hi, Mikey.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That's what the narrator wants you to see.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
That's a lot of handwriting on that piece of paper that we can't see clearly.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It is worth it. What do you mean? Why would that not be worth it, right? Everyone is gone, you just go to the break room?
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Then we have the entire office for ourselves. We can do whatever we
Stanley
want.
sat around, but at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to
Can
get
we
back
have
to
some
business.
Pepsi? 3.
We have Diet Pepsi. The first door to the left, that looks like a warehouse. But we go here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
They're bad at following instructions, that's right. We don't have the key card.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Why is she waiting so we can avoid her? We've been avoiding her for a reason, right? There are lots of boxes. What kind of company is this? Fragile? All we're seeing are papers.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Yeah. Did we pick the phone? Can we unplug the phone instead?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
I did.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Hey!
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
I am a real
But if
person.
used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and
This
crack."
narrator remind me the narrator of Slay the
Excellent.
Princess.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy
They're
decision-making
happy.
process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago.
That's
and
another
see
game
what
I
the
was
correct
actually
thing to
trying to
do would
play.
have been.
It's called
This
Exit.
way, please.
Play tuna. I don't know why we get stuck like this? Whenever I interact with anything, it just, lures me.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
Should have tried that,
would make
didn't
no
you?
sense at all. We just need to get
It's
you
not
home
jumping.
as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
They can't jump off anymore? Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. What goes that? Penalty for misused cargo lift, 1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, 5,000. Well, how was I paid? I'm dead. Never thought of that. Wait, I'm just noticing the sounds of or interacting is the same sounds he makes when he's clicking on the keyboard. Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop. Are you going to that meeting room? This is the break room.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Can't open it. Hello? Yes? That's one messy employee.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is the left one.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
It's all messed up in here. Nice chair. Okay, nothing changes if we go back. Here's the meeting room. What's happening here? What's wrong with the chest?
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Pat.
Hey! Let's shut my game down. And stop playing.
you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
Yes.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh.
I'm not the child, I'm an adult.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Should we follow instructions now, or should we do our own thing again? I think I'll do my own thing.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Can I just sit here? There. Alright. Picking the lifter.
This is like a DM watching his party ruin his homebrew campaign. Lol.
That is me. Huh. Am I stuck again?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What manager? Get Chris out of the broom closet. Push staff for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? This is not a very productive company. Spring break? I don't think employees get the spring break. As for college students. Talk less. Don't get fired. Let it ball up inside it. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. On coworkers for not supporting you more.
Your desk is very dirty. Need cleaning.
My desk is clean. Maybe their desk is not clean. Broom closet. Did someone help Chris?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is that even a choice? That's a very nice office. How did the entire floor just change the theme all of a sudden? This looks nothing like the rest of the office.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley
I am the
wondered
most
in disbelief
expensive
who
boss.
orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Why is there a panda with a gun to its head and it says business strategy?
Stanley spoke the
Sewage
code.
lilies.
Night
My
Shark
cloud money.
115. He spoke it into the
Manager just
receiver,
wants to
right
bully
there
you,
on
I
the
think.
wall.
What does that say? Carte blanche?
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect.
Hey,
The kind
there's a
of
lot to
respect
explore here.
Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the
did
right.
not have a
You could have
choice.
done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
Hey,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
did he?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me?
Narrator deserve
me?
butt slap face orange
Is
frowning.
everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
Yeah.
Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
Too many
The
choices.
story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right.
Hi Ari,
I'll
are
wait
you
for you to
enjoying the
decide
Stanley
what's the
Parable?
right thing to
Face
do.
purple wide eyes. Have
Take
you
as
been
much
enjoying the
time as
game
you
Ari?
need.
Face red heart shape.
Hi, Leah. Sorry, Leroy. I've been enjoying it, yes. Alright, let's go for a different
All of
ending.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And I think there were things to interact with before.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
That's how to get a short work week.
All of his
So I know it.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Job.
room. Perhaps he had simply
10.
missed a memo.
Huh?
Okay, I think there's another
When Stanley
ending.
came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
Wanted to
open
see what's
door
in
on
the
his
truck.
left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Can
There's
we make it
someone
down
you've
here?
been neglecting, Stanley.
No!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I wanted to see
Good
if we
job,
can
Stanley.
land
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
and go to that door that is open.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
As
could
a
it
little
mean?
too eager.
Stanley decided to go to the
Splat
meeting room.
face, blue
Perhaps he had
smiley.
simply missed a memo.
Let's try again. One more time.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Maybe
Stanley
that's
was
a
so
secret
bad
ending.
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
You see that open door there?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's
Okay.
someone you've been
A lion?
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've
That-
forgotten about. What? Really? I
I
was
did
in the
it.
middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove
Danger,
that I'm
danger,
on your
everywhere.
side. Give me a chance.
You did it, Pat.
They did it. Secret path. No buckets past this point. Do I have a bucket?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What about the blue door? We like blue here.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
It's extracting me.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
You don't understand there's a blue door here.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen?
Yes.
Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken
Okay, blue
rooms,
door, bro.
exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely
Yes,
nothing
I'm
so
crafting.
far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I like the third option.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Yes.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Worldwide leaderboard. There's a leaderboard now? Ah, I'm stuck. Hello? "21% of players skipped in through sequence. Only the worst 3% of players choose the blue door. That is me. I'm right though, lost. I not ask some friends for help. Their friends must be empty. I don't have friends. I do have friends. They just don't want to play with me for some reason. A dead rat is better than me. Fine. Eat that way.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Yeah.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I never said I was playing.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done.
Hey!
It's over.
That
Thank
was a
you for
giant
playing.
baby.
Your
That's
input
not a real
was
baby.
extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes,
Sounds
that
interesting.
must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I
Sorry,
love
potatoes.
everything
I'll be
about this game,
creeping on you
Stanley.
from now on.
And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
The birds are far of Wyoming. Wait, this is happening in Wyoming? Alright. Who will be hating on today? What about those gas containers? Propane? They're just there under the sun? I'm always scared of those gas tanks. They're sitting there in the sun. Is it ever too hot for them?
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Wait, wasn't there a camp somewhere around here? Oh, that
It
toilet?
is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Now,
Preferably
I like
something
this
with
game.
walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
I want it to stop creeping on people.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
What is this, Rocket League?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Isn't that ball gonna kill us? Oh, we can move fast now.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. Hold on. What are you doing?
We're getting lost.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. We still have...
We're going somewhere. That the narrator will never find us here. Is this back to our cubicle? Ah, it's our office again.
PT.
We've upgraded our PC. It's more modern now. Okay, it's no longer lit.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
That's gonna take a while for that ending. We're back. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What about the wife ending? What the fun? Maybe we can try that next. There are so many choices. Wait a minute. Is this? Ah, there we go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
This is my left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright.
Look, Stanley, I
Let's
think
not
perhaps
take the
we've
secret
gotten off
path.
on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
That's true.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be...
Look, this is back in our office.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you
Say
actually
what?
think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here,
Cold
Stanley.
face, red
I'm
heart
trying to
shape.
get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press any button
This
on your
narrator
controller.
is mean.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Luke locks the bedroom with a couch. Actually, that's blocking the entire flat apartment.
The narrator is crazy.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
Can we eat
Now
lunch?
he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk,
Perfect
Stanley
wife for him.
dreamed of wild expeditions
He's a
into
little
the
bug,
unknown.
but that's fine.
Fantastic discoveries of new lands.
He makes really good
It was
lasagna.
wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Where is the TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys. What about the wife? We just came back here.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
We're gonna be back. Their dinner?
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. and down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press any button to tell your kids a story, see? They had sex. They have a baby.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love her. I love you, bold wife.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Go to sleep, Andre Toy.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Is there a button to be at work in the morning?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
2025.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the
Trapped.
rules.
Let me
I
out.
simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh no. Did we die? Well, we lived a happy life. I had a baby.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, there are some options in the right door still.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Or, and press this button. Where is this taking us?
But Stanley didn't
Secret
want to go
dungeon.
back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Any other option? Looks like we're forced to take this door.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Fine.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly...
Stop telling me.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Why? Why is that track? How did someone park a truck like this? Okay, fine. We got to... Whatever this is.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track.
Face
Okay, from the top.
You ended up pissing him face blue smiling.
I keep ending up pissing him, yes.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
None of those doors open. Right, let's go to the left there. I'm sure there are other things we can do besides, down to the left there. Maybe there will be more options here too.
When Stanley...
What?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Yeah, so many doors now.
Did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Which door should we take? Oh, back rooms. Okay. That was not the back room. Well, maybe it is.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No! No!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wanted the multiple doors.
Okay,
Lo, where's
it's
the story?
worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No more doors?
Now Therese, no door.
Remove the coffee cup.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
They
No,
spilled
wait,
the coffee.
never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
There's nothing. That's new. Did you mess it up?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Nice!
Congratulations!
I win!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
See? I thought I can win the game.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you
Now
didn't
take
put
that.
in any actual work for that win. Some people
Yay,
win fair
Ari
and square,
wins.
and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
I worked very
I'm
hard for
getting
this.
weirded
What do you
out by
mean?
whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Fire.
All right, I've got a solution. This
Good
time, to
job,
make sure
Iron
we
Pat.
don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
That is very difficult. I'm colorblind. I don't see the yellow line. Hello, game? Let me move. This door wasn't even open before.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Fine. I can follow the line. Look. Nothing to do. Back at our office. Okay, we're forced to follow the line this time. Unless... No.
Sorry, Ari. I left to go eat.
Anyways, someone is playing solitaire. Not doing any work, I see. In a secret door? No?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow
Yes,
this
you
train
might-
of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
No.
Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective
Chad, I think
experience
the
of
steam
this
cell was
office,
pretty meh.
is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental
Steam
subjective
Cell has
construct?
not
Whoa, whoa,
been
whoa, whoa.
great for
Hang on.
many years now.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to
It
apologize.
used to be the one time in
Not
the
sure where I
year
was
where
going
things
with
go
all that.
on actual sale
You know
and
what?
we get
I
deep
think what we
discounts.
need
Nowadays,
right now
it's
is a bit of music to lighten the
actually
mood.
just normal discounts, not big discounts. Ah, music. They have an entire drawer just filled with coffee mugs. I can move. All sorts of coffee mugs. Question mark. Someone is trying some abstract art, I see. That's a useless knife. That's somewhat adventure.
The line is 1 mile over the place
We're supposed to walk in a zigzag. What is this? Ah! Payday Mask! Remember that game? The third one was horrible. Don't even think about buying it. Department.
So much
accounts, reports, reviews, personal files, budget analysis, financial records, monthly ledgers. That's a lot of files.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
This fern?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Anything else important here? Let us get in. Start looking at stuff. The narrator is destroyed enough. This will not be important at all.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Which line should we take? Do they all lead to the same room? It's where we started. This way?
Where's my music sad now? Face purple crying.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh,
while you on our forest fire?
With it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Which direction?
You need more music and had Pat's face purple crying.
You don't need more music.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
We're just moving in circles.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Well, it screws up the feeling. After you can follow it.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay. So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny
nauseated face emoji. Very hard thinking is happening, Lowell.
The confusion ending.
Oh, hold up. What's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall.
Just tell us how to get other
Well, who consulted me?
Hell.
Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
After
No,
long
it
time,
can't be.
Stanley dies.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey.
Now
Though
I
they're
have a
always
head
saying
ash
that
face
life is
red
about
droopy
the
eyes.
journey and not the destination.
The
So
head
I hope
ash?
that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Maybe you need a head ashtray.
Well, in the meantime,
Now
if
the
you
waiting game lull.
We're back.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Stanley needs holiday. Well, it
And here
already
it
was a
was,
waiting game with a
the
clean room
lounge.
and...
What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room.
Exactly what
This
that
is
room.
what Stanley thought. What a room. What a
Because
room,
you tried
what a
it,
room.
don't you?
What a room. Va-va-voom. What a room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Is this soundtrack? This is the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's what they thought I would.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
How did
His
this
boss
car
would
make
think he
it
was
here?
crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
How is there a
None
car
of it
in
made
there?
any logical
Stanley
sense.
wants to go home.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
That's
Why did
true.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Look up.
So,
No,
he
copy
imagined
now.
himself flying and began to gently
No.
float above the ground.
I'm not flying.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
That's true.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Receipt paper,
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
When Ari says that's true.
So he closed his eyes gently.
So cute.
And he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Are we homeless?
Let me wake up.
Let's not wake up if we're homeless.
I'm through
Let's keep
with this
dreaming.
dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Yes, give us back
all
our
I want
bold
is
wife.
my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What is this, the sad ending? Now we're back.
And he began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
We're still stuck in the loop.
And everything went black.
Uh-oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
WTF,
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
This is life in America. Okay, that's not true. I can tell you a story about, some office lady. There was some person, I think, who just jumped off a parking lot, multi-story parking lot, and then there was an office lady who was just, sitting down and, crying hysterically. I don't think they're even related, but, that then affected her a lot. I don't know what was going on in her head.
How wonderful. Stanley
Ari
was
the mid
alone.
office lady face
Finally,
purple wide eyes.
this is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The story continues. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't think this is in the original. This is only in the remaster of the game. Let me see this new content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe
Watching a
features
movie, I
exciting new
guess.
content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh,
Wait,
well, this sounds
I'm grabbing a
delightful.
drink.
I'm very excited to see
I
the
need some
thrilling
tea.
new Ultra Deluxe content.
Drink water instead.
I almost forgot.
Cat.
I almost forgot the store did not have what I was looking for. So I had mango tea instead. Drink water,
Cat.
you drink water.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Where's the adventure?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Are you calling me thirsty?
I
Smiley
have to
face
say,
emoji.
initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra
Cat.
Deluxe, mostly tedious.
Now I'm calling
It's
you
as if
poor,
from-
and all you
Oh,
could afford
okay.
is water.
Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh, we can jump.
Fuck, broke my heart, Ari. Smiley face emoji.
Hey, at least you can afford water, right? Clean water. Must that's not an option? Then, well, my condolences. Hello? Can I jump? I don't know why the control just seems to stop arbitrarily for no reason.
Hi. Jump.
Are we out of jumping? We're out of jumping. You can't jump anymore.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box.
That's true.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000
Is this a
hours
short
of new
game?
content. And oh, wait.
Does this look
There's
like
more.
a short game to you?
Very good.
More jumping,
Yes.
please. 3.
I knew there had to be something else.
Apparently,
Let's
there
see
is an
it.
achievement
I'm
in
ready
this
for
game
whatever it is.
for not playing the game for 10 years. So you come back after 10 years, start the game, and that's how you get the achievement. The original game had a similar achievement, But I think that one is 3 or 5 years. It's a lot easier to get. It's a comedy game. And it's also some commentary, I think, on the gaming industry as well. At least with this new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Guess
It's my
what, 10
fault,
years?
Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Do we have a choice? Wait, something is different. That doesn't look right.
Colon face red heart shape.
That's a picture of the old office.
Psst! Stanley!
Yes!
Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
And we'll go to the vent. Is that new content in the vent? What is this? My certificate for me to read. Sunset. Let's see what's in here. Shall we play it? Is this a Beatic Factory? Speaking of a Beatic Factory is gonna be going to full release in like 2 weeks. I'm excited for that game, even though I usually play it offline.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Crying face
Take a
emoji.
look.
Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Yes. 99% of my potatoes are very poor.
I call it the memory zone.
And that's fine.
It's where I've been storing all
Or
my
I put
favorite memories
in some
so
way.
I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Who places their phone outside?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
As an old screenshot.
Who leaves their door open? Haha.
Also, how was Steam in 2030? I'm trying to remember. It was in a better state, that's for sure. That was before the Epic Store. And we did have a really good discounts back then. Don't forget, the Stanley Parable. The greatest wealth is memory. Reliving nostalgia. Whenever I'm stuck in a weird angle like this, it's because the controller is not responding. I don't think it's the controller, I think it's the game itself. Sounds really weird.
I was
What is
14
this?
back then, so I couldn't afford anything. My parents were cheap.
Maybe your parents are also don't have enough. With mortgage and all the bills, it gets really difficult. And taking care of a kid takes a lot of money. Independence Game Festival. What is this? British Academy of Film and Television Arts. I think that's a made-up award to the kid. Good times. Buy on Steam.
Lot of trophy. Good job, Ari Pat.
Lots of trophies. Those are trophies for the game, not for me. It's all about the game I'm playing. $1. How is this relevant? I guess this is for Master Mixer. $1. Here's the original title screen. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. See, this is the achievement from the original game. Some people do have this. Unachievable, it's impossible to get this achievement. That's what they think. Oh, they did get nomination. Maybe they do actually have
Thank
the
you,
award.
Ari, so sweet.
Are those different? I like him move without interruptions. Hello, team. Help me move. Unless it's different people, and that's the same one. Story, debut game. Oh, it's different categories. Okay. New video game releasing today, New York Times. Oh, it's just on the New York Times. What's so special about it? Interesting times. There aren't as many indie games, that's for sure. But this was very special.
Do you have any plans
Little
for tonight?
Stanley! Oh no. Do I have plans for tonight? Yes, there are always plans.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Wait, this is Minecraft, this is not Stanley Parable.
Persona 3 was so good.
That tasteful
Skyrim
nostalgia. It was good. That's down here. Memories of maintenance. Hey, we can't go there. Hello? Let me move. Person of the year. Oh, fun. Were those from the original? Maybe those were parts that we never got to see. That's a woman who ignored us, and that's us. I don't know what this is. Level maker for the game?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Baby. Can we go somewhere else?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait,
It's open.
hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in
Steam
years.
reviews?
I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
That is probably a real negative review for the original game. We can probably find that review.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
That's how it feels when you go back to play a game that you really liked and then you don't find yourself enjoying it. You just enjoy the thought of how you remember the game being other than how the game actually is. And that's why I don't like to replay old games as well. But if the game just sucks, I'm going back. That's another negative review.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Look at the tree.
Stanley,
It's
I
dead.
think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I
Yeah,
have
the
had
poor
time
tree.
to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had...
Did the narrator die? Skip! Ah, it's low on battery. It's fine.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the
serious.
jokes? Where are the jokes? They
here
bemoaned,
with
they
the back.
screamed, they gnashed.
Skip!
The end is never the end, 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 is...
Skip.
Okay, skip. Uh-oh. Mr. Fallout.
Narrator talk too much, face red, droopy eyes.
I think the narrator is dead now. There's a war going on outside. And we're here skipping. Skip! How many years did we skip? Uh-oh. A new war? Is it global warming this time? It's getting a little scary here. Uh-oh. My skip button!
Ari, do you accept DMs on Twitter?
I accept DMs, I just don't reply to them. Don't reply to them, don't read them. Okay, our button is broken. You can no longer skip.
Sad.
But you can escape from the office. What happened here? Is this a nuclear shelter? It's an open world game now. Alright. Let's go to New Vegas.
Looks like mine cursed.
Well, on to a new adventure. It says every new world, sorry, not every open world game that comes out, even Elden Ring, is like this. This is what I see when I play an open world game. Besides Fallout, that's the only one I'll give a pass. Ah, we're back at the office. Hi. Who's calling us? Hello? Mushi? Any pickup? Can even pick up the phone? Hi. Oh, is this one? Baby?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Hey, bye.
So pepperoni pizza, please.
They're only send them as cardboard boxes. Hopefully they're not gonna mess their brain. Our
food, please.
department. New content. There's new content. I wanna see.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay, let's see it. I'm liking this journey. It's stress-free. Can we go back? Can we go to that other door? Yeah. Fine.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
What is this? A crown or a mastery? Testing 2 printers at the same time. Amazing. Investor's Showcase.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Do you think
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
So many ways to say do here. Or I think that's what it is. Have faith in K. Okay? That's off right there. Are those candles? They're candles. New mic. I like this new mic. New content is out. New content is in. Foreign sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. New hotness. Old plus busted. They're back! 2 doors! What is this? Don't talk to me before I've read my sequel. That is funny. That's a mug goodbye. Instead of a MacBook, is that a bird book? Pro book? There's a bird book.
Need to go, Ari. Thanks for the stream. Red heart emoji. Red heart emoji.
No worries.
Red
Go
heart
drink
emoji.
your water. Talk to you later. ESP2 logo, I guess. Thanks for attending my meeting. Where's the meeting? Those are just different logos.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Yes.
It'll all work itself out.
Marketing something
Game
that doesn't even
development
exist.
is much more of a fuzzy magic
Chambud is
than
ready for
anything
meeting two
scientific or
colon
logical,
cat
really.
orange whistling.
Meeting plan. Scrum. Design fetch. Break. Which design? Number 2 chat.
I am not that poor.
2 eyes, 2 ears, nostrils, arms, legs, 2 penises. Who took the red marker? Me. Two peepees. Yes, that's Portal 2. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom
Why
2,
he has two
Aladdin
PP?
2, Dark Souls 2, Mel. We can't have Dark Souls 2. We can't have Dark Souls 2 as a good sequel. Dark Souls 2 is a mistake. I think Portal 2, I think the other ones are really good. I'm not sure about Aladdin. But Dark Souls 2 definitely does not belong on a good sequel. It's a worse sequel. Eat paper. I wish I can read what's on that, but I can't zoom in. I wish there was a zoom in button. I really went wild with those sequel ideas. This way to the show floor. Valued investors. New features. Exciting times.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
A button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Different languages. There's even one in Arabic. Says Jadid, which means new. Okay, I wanna see that button.
Creepy area face orange biting nails.
Here, your name in the game. Name, here, yours today. No jumps remain in player tiers.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Everyone's got one. Here's yours today. And is that? Just a login screen for Max? Name.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I'ma feel like a Jim.
Jim. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again. Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
No?
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Jim. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Poor Jim.
No! Bring back the Jim button.
Jim.
I hate it here. They lied to us. They lied to the investors. They have an idea. They don't have the actual feature. But they're saying they do.
Jim,
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to
coin.
play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Time to wake up. No screenshots, please. Whole new office. No screenshots. Red is a new orange. I wonder if doing a screenshot actually does something. Does it? The baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Sort of just fire and danger. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Twin shaders. Sorry for me. The new update retrace more of the same, but in a good way. Sequel to the. Is that sound for what's it called? Phone interference from the game itself. You know the one where it says that what it does that when someone is calling your phone and then you hear it ring. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Zoom circle. Infinite hole. The assurance bucket. I want the assurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Give me my bucket. Like that.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
Yes.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Keep in my bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday. Happy 12th
This bucket
birthday.
is very cute. Flushed face
That
emoji.
niece. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Hey, that's not what I voted for. But get well someday.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Come now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Why is that balloon stuck down there? Didn't make it to the rest of them. Fine. Guess we're gonna have to move on. Free new! Plus easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. It just works. Get it here. Kelfies. Get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Yes.
Well, I'm
Stanley
developing
is
a
12
technology
years
to
old,
simply give
very
you
young
the
for working
achievement.
face, fuchsia tongue
You
out.
see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
It's achievement and achieve.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Find me, please. It's not working. I hate it here. They lied to me again. What a disappointing sequel. Will it ever work? Doubtful. Those are the supporting new features.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I did see the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
We can't even do the jumping. Fine. Nice sequel. What's over here? Can you find them? Can you find them? Can I find right? Collect them all. Collectibles.
Yeah, jump your pee.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
That's it. Gimme. Then out of 6. They found it.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
What else is it? Infinite hole? It won't end. Let's see this infinite hole. Some potatoes were located, and that will definitely say what. Time deeper. Opening rim, depth, infinite, surrounding area. Yes, we needed that. Curve, normal, infinity, falling, science, more,
Maybe.
space, depth, all. Educational use only. How deep can we dig? The holy moly. The answer will mildly surprise you.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like.
Face red heart shape, face red heart shape, face red heart shape.
Hi, Sarlax, how are you doing?
You see, isn't it wonderful?
Oh wait,
one of my more
doesn't it repeat?
ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
But how deep does it go?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Is it truly an infinite hole, though?
I'm training on the new job. How are you, Ari? It's been a while.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Is that
Is it
infinite?
a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
You lied to me again.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
But trainer on the new job? I hope the training is going well, and you're liking your new job. I've been doing well myself. Although I've been doing less streaming and also posting a little less on Twitter.
Great.
And busy playing that new card game called Shadowverse.
More of my ideas for the sequel.
Well, the ideas for the sequel suck so far. I don't like any of them. Except the bucket. The bucket is the best one. We're keeping the bucket. Everything else has to go.
The bucket is our new friend, 3.
What else is here?
We have to keep the bucket safe.
Settings World Champion. I've seen the collectibles, the not working achievement. You've seen the button. That's new. What's new?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Did you look at the new merch? And go there. You've seen the bucket. We've seen that. You've seen the collectibles, there's easy achievement. I guess the only thing left is the exit.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Someone's back. I found that scary. I like that.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
What is this?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
This is worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named
1:15 a.m.
Stanley.
Chumbud must go to bed. Get up in 5
Stanley
hours
worked
for
for a
work.
company in a big
Happy to
building
spend
where
time
he
with
was
Ari. Thank you
employee
for the
number
fun and weird stream.
427.
Hugs
Oh,
and
yes,
kisses
Chumbud.
your heart shape.
427's
Very
job
happy
was
you
simple.
joined me, even though
He
it's
sat at
really
his
late
desk
for
in
you.
room 427, and he pushed buttons.
Hope you enjoyed the time you spent
Orders
here.
came to him through a
Until then,
monitor,
take care of yourself.
telling him what
Love you a
buttons
lot.
to push,
Sweet games.
how
And
long
I'll
to
catch
push
you
them,
next week.
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley
Love yo 72 bye face red heart shape.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So far, the intro for this experimental second game is not bad. It's better than the original, that's for sure. It's also a skip button.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, is this the shipment order for the card boxes we've asked for? Did they arrive and they just placed them all over? How about this way? Ah, big insurance bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Name access? What does that even mean?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Very good, bucket. They're killing him.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
You got it, bucket.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
That's what the bucket thinks. I'm not loyal to any bucket.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point.
No!
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior
We're
up
not
to
that
this
stupid.
point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Do not stand on this side of the fence. I don't want to go there. Can we take my bucket? Is this a bucket?
Now then,
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Obviously not.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Clearly not. Some of the hologram.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Obviously, yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth.
Give me
I
a
thought
bucket.
this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yes, I just said so.
Correct. This is a bucket.
See? I knew it.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
It's a hologram again.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
You can't do
Okay.
that.
Here we go.
It's part of the new feature. Hey!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket
You're a
after
bucket
all.
as well.
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go. Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Is it so bright this time? You know, I'm taking my bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Yes,
it should have
let's
alarmed
not
him, of
question
course,
the
because
bucket.
buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
This is the doctor. Isn't this their phone room? Yes.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Life for bucket? Wish you were here. Aloha from the Freedom Finding. Adventure awaits. I played the Nema. It's alright, the bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press any button to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Wait, the alpha says quite lit right now. Press any button to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press any button to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk.
Not just a bucket.
All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
Sounds
That's
good
it.
to me.
It doesn't do anything else.
That's a good thing. Don't listen to the loud man. Press any button to go back home. You're gonna have bucket babies.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
I'm living a happy life. Not anyone in your life except me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It does. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press any button to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Relive the same day with me, over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home. To work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no.
Oh, having a special
feelings
evening.
For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't
Look
understand.
at that
Perhaps
saucy,
if I
sexy
had
bucket.
the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
I like how you're looking to my bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. We were having our best life with the bucket.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
You're looking pretty fancy, bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What else is here?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Broom closet. Ah, we can open it.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
Yeah.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Exactly.
You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
Never.
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Like never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Yes. You're wrong, Broom. You're wrong. We've shared more than you
I
think.
got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's
Property of
settled.
Stanley.
No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yes, go fuck yourself, Broom. We're out of there.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Everything
That way,
is a bucket.
if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. They're coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We're gonna die together. Oh, collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
There we go. Far more to go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed,
Where's my bucket?
The rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Where is it?
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket
you?
after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
What?
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
No! How did the bucket end up inside of us? What is this, alien?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Really? She backflip? That is hilarious, though. The office changed. It's blue.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
It is this
Stanley
way.
took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Let's see what awaits us down here.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
It's different. We care about you, Stanley.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
It's
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
How we first do? Well, old wife. What is this pencil sharpener? That one is new. Hey, baby.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
There's our music.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What?
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No, we're not giving up the bucket. We're keeping it.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Can we
Can
not?
you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I'm not ready. Let me go.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about?
Okay.
The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket.
No.
Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley.
Screw
Give
the
the
fans.
fans what they want.
We
Hurry
keep the
and...
bucket. But not our life. It was our life. Is this afterlife?
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye. New friend, for
You
the
will not
moment
be
in
missed.
time that you were here, you were magnificent.
And it is over.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finding Committee. Meeting today in the meeting room.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
That's true.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You know I'm not doing that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Can you open this? No? How can we find them? Figurines. Mission status. Inside of a sequel exhibit. A large room, lots of boxes. Some are both red and blue. Nearby, a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Is this, some... What? Some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Places to search. I think this is the location for all the figurines. Gotta collect them all. 5 there be, just take it from me. Looks like 427. Ahaha. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Who are you? There will be clean of this wall required. Stop getting yourselves. I want to go home. I want them so much. Agenda. I can do it. Bedroom? Goodbye. Maybe we are the collectibles. Difficulty finding. Bottom text. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. There are many questions, no memo from management. One in the bathroom. What makes them float in the air? That's the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, I feel pointless to be honest.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Fine.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Is this a sinky place with the figurine? Nah, doesn't open. Ha, it does open. It is a sinky place. I've got the feeling. Money for... What? Money's for stealing? But not yours, of course. Surely that's, lowly purse? What? Lovely purse?
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I like the mini stand. Extreme bathrooms. Hey. What is this, sir? Business strategy. And let's check the panda. Glowy paper. We're going down. Wait a minute. This went nowhere. Can I go up then? Yep, it doesn't take us anyway. It goes nowhere, apparently. So we're kind of forced to go to the boss office?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Yes.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
See it. Figurine!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I like the mini Stanleys. What's wrong with that? Here we go. No, only down.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
This is a scary place.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Can we take the escape with our bucket?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Are we now?
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
That's down here. Looks safe enough. It's alright. Amy? What is today? Oh. Can we go back?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Dakashas!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
We made it. For life.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
What happened to our bucket? We were just holding it. Bucket. Welcome you to the grand exhibit. Standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within. Confidence void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full, enriched, and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind that, what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? That's deep coming from a bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced a catonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. How does 25? They look way more than 25. Way more. 50 is, an unders. 50 is, way too little as well for what's in that picture. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Is it though? Yeah, let me move. Keep getting stuck in place for whatever the reason. What is this rusty bucket? The Inferno Bucket, a replica of the Inferno Bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerful, alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. They can't take it, it's not our bucket. The stress bucket analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Vulnerability equals size and scent of the bucket. Coping strategy is hold. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. A stress bucket presented without commentary. Buckets were always there since the Stone Ages. Cave drawings. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitability, is for our own good. Is that the infinite hole? Can I avoid the infinite hole? Do we have to pick up the bucket and fall down? Yes.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
Yeah.
Don't reset the game.
No.
Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
We died together. There was no saving us that time. Just empty this bucket. But also, I think maybe that's enough Stanley Parable for today. It's definitely a really fun game. I like it. Not all the jokes are funny, but the narrating of this game definitely makes it enjoyable. Otherwise, it will be a boring walking simulator without the narrator. So the narrator is what makes this game for me. Anyways, not sure what I'll be streaming again. Probably not gonna be streaming this game again. Or maybe I will. There's probably a lot to do, right? I don't think I've unlocked that many achievements. Oops. I pushed my phone so far away. Anyways, let's take a look at the achievements actually. Yeah, we did not unlock even a single one. Why did we get any of the other achievements as your first? You can't jump, no serious, we disabled it. Beat the game, complete the Stanley Parable. Quit the game and then start it again. Welcome back. Click on door 435 times. Really? 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8? That's achievement, please ignore. That's achievement description. Replace this. Setting work, settings. Right, settings world champion. Set all settings sliders in the menu to all available numbers. Complete the Stanley Parable under 4 minutes, 22 seconds, not including load time. Super go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. This is the longest achievement. You're doing this legitly? Actually have to stop playing the game for 10 years and come back to it afterward. Commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. What? Who's doing that? Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you hopefully next time. I'm not sure when the next stream is gonna be. Maybe tomorrow, maybe late tonight. We'll see about that. I still have to make dinner for myself, so whenever I'm feeling like it, we'll do another stream. And we'll play something different for sure. Maybe we'll come back to this game later in the future if you just want something relaxing, not the card game. And not frustrating, since I can't really get frustrated with this game. Until then, take care of yourself. Love you all. Bye-bye.